Hello dear students, welcome in science class. So students, today we will start with the biology's first chapter, that is from the biology portion, that is the fundamental unit of life. Fundamental means basis of life means living. Okay, so what is the basis of all living beings? We have studied in 8th standard the basis of all living beings is the cell, that is the smallest structure of the living being. As we are saying, in matter they are made up of particles, so living beings they are made up of small structures that are called the cell. And cell is the, what is cell? So what is cell? Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. So what is cell? It is the structural and functional unit of life. Now students, what about the discovery of the cell? Who discovered cell? As you have studied in 8th standard, Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke in 1665 observed the thin slice of cork under the microscope. Okay, now what is microscope? What is microscope? That is the instrument used to see the enlarged view of things. Okay, those things that cannot be seen with the naked eyes. To see them, we can use microscope. That's why students understand properly. That's why the cell till 1665 remain undiscovered. Okay, no one noticed the cell is there in the living organisms. Okay, why? Because the cell can't be seen with the naked eye. Are you able to see any kind of cell here? No. Okay, but when we observed it under the microscope, then we can see the cell, the smallest building blocks that are called cell. So first we will do about the microscope. What is microscope? Okay, might be you have seen in the school labs also. Okay, so this is the compound microscope. Okay, this is the eyepiece from where we can see. Here we are using a lens of specific magnification. This is the body tube. These are the knobs that we can use for the focusing the slides. Okay, here these are the objectives. Here the lenses are also there of different magnifications and we can revolve it. This is the handle or arm of the microscope. This is the stage where we can place the slide, and these are the clips. Okay, with them the slide can be held. This is the base of the microscope. Okay, here the mirror is there, condenser and iris diaphragm. Students, what is the function of the mirror? It helps in focusing the light on the slide. That's why this microscope is also known as light microscope, as we are using light to see the object. Now on observing the cork, it is a thin slice that is taken from the bark of the tree. Okay, the outermost covering of the hard covering of the tree, that is made up of dead cells. Okay students, it is made up of dead cells. And then this cork, thin slice of cork observed under the microscope, then Robert Hooke observed this type of structure. This kind of structure he has observed under the microscope. Okay, this looked like a honeycomb like structure. Okay, and he called these little compartments as a cell. Okay, these little compartments of the honeycomb like structure, he named them as a cell. And in the Latin language, the name of the meaning of the cell is little room. Okay. In Latin, cell means a little room. Okay. Now, are you able to see the cell? Can you able to see the cell of any living organism? Yes, we can do one activity, and also you have done this in 8th standard also, by observing the onion peel under the microscope. Okay. So students, what is onion peel? This thin layer or membrane between these fleshy layers of the onion. Okay, we will gently remove it with the help of the forceps and keep it in the put in the water. Okay, this is the onion peel. This is onion peel. Okay, and we will use a stain, that is saffronin, to color it. Okay, because in the light we are not able to see the transparent cells clearly in the under the microscope, so we are using some kind of solutions to color it, okay, or to dye it. And for staining, that is called the stain, students. So staining, for the staining of the onion peel, we can use the saffronin solution. Okay, so after staining, these we can observe these kind of cells. After observing that onion peel under the microscope, this type of structure we will observe. Okay, so these are the cells. These little compartments that you are seeing, okay, these are the cell. Okay, now what is this? These dots, darkly stained structure present at the center, that is the nucleus. Okay, we have done this activity in 8th standard also. So what we can say, students? We can say the whole onion is made up of these basic structures that are called the cell. Okay, now on the basis of number of cells, we can divide the organisms into two types. As you have already studied in 8th standard also, on the basis of number of cells, there are two types of the organisms. One is the unicellular and one is multicellular. Okay, unicellular means, uni means one, it is made up of only one cell or single cell, and multicellular means it is made up of many cells. Now, in the unicellular organisms, students listen carefully, only this single cell is able to do the whole functioning of the body. Okay, all the functions that are performed by the multicellular organisms, that all the functions in unicellular organism is performed by only the one single cell. Okay, so simply we can say in unicellular organisms there is no division of labor. No division of labor, because only it is having one cell, so how could they divide the work? But in multicellular organisms, many cells are there. Okay, and 8th you have studied cells together forms a tissue forms organ system, then organism. So here the division of labor is there. Okay, in multicellular organism, different cells and different tissues, they perform the different functions. Okay, so there are the some examples of the unicellular organisms: amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas, euglena. Okay, these are the examples of unicellular organisms. And multicellular, all the plants, animals, fungi, these are the examples of multicellular organisms. Every multicellular organism, okay, came from a single cell. Means every life starts from single cell, and that single cell is called the zygote. Okay, that means the new cells always arise from the pre-existing cells. Pre-existing means already those cells are present, they divide and then they form the new cells. Now students, what about the shape of the cells? The shape of the cell, okay, that depends upon the function and location they have to perform and location where they are present. Okay, that means all the, if we are talking about the human being, okay, in human being same kind of cells are not there. Okay, the shape of the cell depends upon a function they have to perform and the location where they are present. If we are talking about the amoeba, as amoeba, what about its shape? It has no definite shape. Okay, it can change its shape. Every time it is changing its shape. Okay, that means, and it is a single cell. That means the cells, they are not having same kind of shapes, or all the cells are of not same shape. That depends upon the location and function. And in for example, this one, these are the various forms. Few examples are there that are present in the human body. Okay, this is elongated cell. Elongated cell, why it is elongated? This is the neuron. Okay, why it is elongated? Because it has to take the impulses from one part to the brain or the another part. Okay, that's why it is having elongated stature. This is the red blood cell. Okay, this is the white blood cell. This is the bone cells, ovum, human ovum. This is the human sperm. Okay, so all these structures, all these shapes they are having because they have to perform the function accordingly. Now what about the size of the cells? Okay, as you have studied in 8th standard also, the size of the cell, it varies from microscopic or very small to very large. Okay, that you can see with the naked eye. So name the smallest cell that you have studied. That is the mycoplasma or PPLO. PPLO, that is the pleuropneumonia-like organism. Okay. Its size is 0.1 to 0.5 micron-meter. Okay. In human body, the longest cell, that is the neuron cell or the nerve cell, that is the longest cell. Okay. And it is of 1 meter length. Okay. The largest cell that you can see with the naked eye, that is the largest, that is the ostrich egg. And it is 18 centimeter large. Okay. So that means the sizes of the cells, they are also varies. Now students, how this is possible? That in multicellular organisms, all the functions, the body is able to do all the functions. Okay, they are having the digestive system, or there the digestion of the food takes place, respiratory system, transportation system, or various organs are there, heart, lungs, kidneys, stomach, okay, intestine, they all are doing the function. And in unicellular organism, these all functions are performed by only the single cell. Okay, how this is possible? It means in the cell there are some special kind of the structures, okay, that helps in doing that functions. That means, and in the cells some kind of special structures are there that helps in performing all the functions of the body. Special structures that perform all the functions of the body. The name of that special structures are cell organelles. Cell organelles. Okay, so these cell organelles help in performing all the functions of the body. That means all the functions that every human being or every multicellular organism is doing, that is the outcome of the basic cell only. That's why we are saying the cell is the functional unit. Every living organism is made up of cell. That's why we are saying it is a structural unit. And all the functions basically they are performed by these cell organelles of the cell. That's why it is called the functional unit. Okay, excretion, transportation, digestion, everything is done by these cell organelles. That's why the unicellular organism can perform all these important life processes. Students, all the cells, okay, they are having same kind of cell organelles. Okay, no matter where they are present or what they have to do. Okay, so same kind of cell organelles are there. So in this chapter we will study more about the cell organelles also and the basic structure of the cell also. Now students, at the last we will do the major discoveries related to the cell. Okay, major landmarks that are related to cell discovery. So first of all, Robert Hooke in 1665 discovered the cell that are the dead cells. Okay. Then Leeuwenhoek in 1674 discovered for the first time free living cells in Robert Brown in 1831 discovered nucleus. Okay. Purkinje in 1839 coined the term protoplasm. Okay, for the fluid substance of the cell. Protoplasm, that is the internal material present in the cell, nucleus along with the cytoplasm. Then Schleiden and Sequon. Schleiden in 1838 and Sequon in 1839. They both presented the cell theory, okay, which states that cell theory states that all plants and animals composed of cells, okay, and they are the basic unit of life. That means all the living beings are made up of cells. Then Virchow in 1855 expanded this cell theory and suggested that all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. Cells that are already present divide and form the new cells. Then Knoll and Ruska in 1940 they built an electron microscope that made the understanding of the complex structure of cell and its organelles possible. Okay, so in 1940, more complex microscope was discovered. That was the electron microscope. Okay, under which the scientists were able to discover know more about the cell organelles. Okay, you have to learn these points also. So this is all about the today's session, and rest we will do in next video. Thank you. Bye.